What's up, everybody?
That's the intro. Unique New York.
Unique New York.
Pickled peppers.
Pickled peppers. So, anyway, so we got Kenny Mitchell in the house. Kenny, what's up, buddy?
What's going on, guys?
So, Kenny, we wanted to have Kenny come on because this is a huge week for you, man.
Yeah, big week, fight week.
Fight week. So, I mean, well, you tell us about it. What's going on?
Basically, this week I've been training for about the last 5 months, and just ready to get this fight on.
So this is your first,
my first fight, my debut. Yep.
So I always think that's pretty cool because we were neighbors when you were like second grade or something like that.
I think so. Yeah.
Second or third grade. So I've always known about you and your sister and whatnot, and then all of a sudden I hear Kenny's gonna fight, and I'm like, what do you mean Kenny's gonna fight? Like MMA, and I'm like, no way, man, what's going on with that? And then I saw some of your videos, training, getting after it.
Yeah.
So give people a little bit about your backstory, so they know, like, you know, where this came from.
Sure. I just I always watched it, and I wanted to do it and get into it early, like in my early 20s, but there was just nowhere around to train. You know, I think the closest place at the time was in Melbourne.
Yeah, we had a conversation about that where it's like the people who were doing it then like had wrestled in high school.
Exactly. And at the time, you know, I want to say the price was just something ridiculous, like to go and do. And so I just put on the back burner, you know, and then finally I bought a house, I got my life set, and I'm single, no kids. So I met some people at a Christmas party in December 2017, and I met a guy, and he fought in the UFC for 3 fights, and I met a lady named Shannon Hall, and she was Dallas on American Gladiators.
Yeah, Kevin, so do you hear that?
Dallas on America. I don't remember.
You don't remember Dallas?
She was Dallas.
I'll look her up while you're...
Yeah, look her up. She's a beast. So I met her, and then...
She was one of the top.
She was.
Did she man the tennis ball gun?
She did it all.
Yeah, Dallas was legit.
Yeah, she was for real. She was pretty jacked up too. But I met them two, and she just started a gym up in New Smyrna. So, and then she invited me to come train.
That's really cool. So it's her gym.
It's her. It was her gym.
Yeah, was her gym. So, and then from there, here she is. I mean, that's her, right?
Yeah, that's her. That's Shannon. Yep. She's like, a beast.
Dude, she's a beast. For everybody, listening at home or whatever, Google Dallas. Now, she was, this was a while ago, right? She was on American Gladiator School. I mean,
that was the 90s at some time. I don't know what year.
Now, The Rock has the new thing. What's the new thing that The Rock has? It's similar to that.
Yeah, I'm not sure the name. I did see that.
I forget what the hell
they're doing like people who've got pretty good backstories too, and The
Rock's thing.
Yeah.
They all have stories.
They all have a backstory, and which that helps with everything too. And I'm not sure what it entails, but some kind of contest. So it looks pretty cool. So I've seen the previews, haven't watched it.
Kevin's not a big MMA guy in that you'll watch like the main fights or whatever the case is, but he doesn't follow it.
Yeah,
right? I watch all Mo's fights.
Most fights, yeah. But then you watched some of the fights from last week, or was it 2 weeks ago?
The Jones fight.
I just watched the John
Facebook
Jones fight. 7-second knockout.
Oh, yeah, the flying knee.
Yeah,
it was from flying knee.
3.25 seconds before he was out cold, and 5 seconds before he
stopped it. Actually stopped it.
Yeah.
He was good about the post-interview when he did the thing where he's like, got knocked out. He didn't talk a bunch of crap, because he's a crap talker, right?
He was trying to build it up for sure beforehand.
Yeah, so he came out in the interview and said, I mean, that's what he was doing. He was picking a fight, and then he was egging it on, and he put himself in a spot where if he won and dominated, he was probably going to get a title shot.
He definitely would have been up there. I mean, maybe one more fight, if so, yeah.
Yep.
But, the thing is about Askren is he's not a showman. He's trying to be one.
Right.
You know what I mean? He was trying to be a showman, but that's not him. And that's why he sounds so goofy if you listen to him. he's just a really corny and goofy.
He knows the algorithm to get in the good fights, and he doesn't do it well. You know what I mean? But he knows what he has to do. Yeah. He just doesn't. When he says stuff, sometimes I'm like,
it's like, come on, dude.
Yeah, but at least he's not 0-8.
No, he was 19-0. He had a lot of. He was in one and had a lot of fights and won a lot of fights.
In case you missed that, Kevin was referencing somebody we know that can't win. Fight.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, so
I think I
know. So Kenny is. So what's the deal with your fight? So what's like the format of this fight that's coming up this weekend? First off, we'll do it a couple times, but tell everybody like where the fight is, when the fight is.
The fight will be in Deland High School, July 20th, Saturday, and the event's from 5 to 10 p.m.
How mainstream has this become that it's in a high school? Hey, we're going to have a straight-up knuckled-out brawl.
No, yeah. But that's kind of the stipulations, right? So so it's kickboxing.
And MMA.
And MMA. So it's mixed.
Yep.
Okay.
All in the cage.
Okay. But like in Kenny's case, I mean, he's got to wear the helmet and all that sort of stuff.
I'm kickboxing, not MMA.
Okay.
Is that the one with the leg things on?
Yeah, I'll wear shin guards and a head.
So
the headgear.
It's all amateur, correct?
Yep, everything's amateur.
Okay. And how much? Do you know how much it costs?
To get in, I believe it's $25 now, and then $35 at the door.
Okay.
If you wait.
So everybody go check it out. Can they get? Who's promoting the fight? Like what's the fight?
It's Origin Promotions. I don't know the exact name, but it's Origin.
Origin Promotions, and if it's okay with you, I'll rip the image off your Facebook and I'll post it on the OG show.
Perfect.
Share it on there for you. All right. So anyway, so why was there a reason why you went kickboxing versus MMA or?
Yeah, the big reason is my background is wrestling, and I never put on a pair of boxing gloves until last year. So I didn't have any stand-up experience, or striking is what we call it.
Yeah.
I had no striking experience, and I felt that in order for me to get better, I would need to just strictly focus on the stand-up and striking. So that's what I've been doing the last 6 months. And instead of going there and just trying to wrestle the guy in MMA, which I would have tried to do, now I'm going there and I just have to force me to be a striker.
So now get some experience as a striker, and then maybe
go,
the transition.
Exactly. So, and then go to MMA next year.
I have been running with Kenny. So Kenny posted a couple of his run times, and I was like, man, he's running the bridge.
The rookie runs.
But he was running the bridge. I'm like, man, I like running the bridge. And Kenny, he wasn't flying, so I was like, all right, I can run with Kenny without killing myself, right? So I started running with him. The dude's an animal, man. He's gone from 3 weeks or something like that.
Oh yeah, my times, yeah.
From 3 weeks, he's gone from doing 12-minute miles to that one we did was killer.
Yeah,
it was low nines. Or
man,
something
we cooked at that run.
We did. We've been up at 4:30 in the morning doing runs.
I'm out. Running 4:30, bridge.
We ran 5 miles this morning at 7:30.
Yeah, it was nothing. We felt great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sure y'all did. Sure you did.
But the only thing that stinks about that is the coffee place.
Oh, I know. Closed. Yeah, I know. Yeah. The Crescent
Coffee.
Yeah,
they're the one downtown.
Yeah, right next to right next to. Or one
sort of. It's one over, I think.
I went there once.
They're actually, they're pretty good. It's
building,
big.
I was gonna say it's extremely large.
It's a little big. I feel like they need to fill the space with something.
Yeah.
As gay as this sounds, I feel like coffee shops are supposed to feel intimate. And it's very large.
If that place
very
was
industrial.
full, I can see that being a coffee / martini bar. You know what I mean? It looks
that'd be kind of cool. The issue though, they have the martini bar that right down the corner.
Which I think closed down already, right?
No, I don't think so. They're still open.
No, but I like that place, by the way.
The martini bar?
Oh yeah, yeah.
You really do?
Yeah. Have you been in there?
No.
It's nice. I mean,
it
for sure.
It smells clean. That's a.
What did it used to be called?
Is that the big part?
Something.
It was downtown Dave's.
Yeah.
Before that, wasn't it something before that?
Oh, it was.
That was. I thought that was the original Gold Lion.
No. It was something bar.
God, I know. I know this.
I just knew it.
Little bar
Dave's
or something.
Downtown Lounge.
I know the name. I just can't think of it. It's right there on the tip of my tongue.
Well, if you go in there, it makes you feel like you're in an actual city bar. Like you went into a real city bar.
You're in downtown Orlando somewhere.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's real nice. It's real clean. And ever since I quit smoking all those years ago, for some reason, if I'm in a bar and it's heavy on smoke, I can't handle it, which is really weird considering I used to smoke. But, like, there's no smoke in there, and it smells, like, clean.
That's nice. That's my biggest gripe with places that allow you to smoke is that I don't smoke cigarettes. And if you're going to be in a place that smokes cigarettes, you kind of don't want to be like, I don't want to come out and smell like an ashtray. Yeah. So certain places you go to and they have really good ventilation. You know what I mean? It's really clean. And then there's other places, like we shoot pool at.
I was gonna say pool halls are notorious for
they're
smoke.
You come out of there and you're like,
but you got Chalkies in Merritt Island. I always smell like an ashtray. And right across the street you got Island Breakers. I hate it over there, but their whatever air circulators work really well, and it's not as smoky. You know, and they have taller ceilings too, I think, which makes a difference. But still, pool halls are notorious
they're the worst. You go there, you're gonna come out smelling.
Yeah, but if they had a smoke-free pool hall, it wouldn't make any money.
You're right.
I feel like the clientele is 95%.
To play pool, to be in a pool league, you have to smoke. Like that's the rule.
It's part of the
smoke.
Yeah.
Like almost my favorite thing too is the person who's shooting pool smoking, and then like half the time their cigarette's sitting in the damn ashtray, blowing in my face. Yeah. And I'm like, why don't you smoke like when you're not shooting so that you can actually dedicate the time to your cigarette?
Or they're smoking so much that they light one, put it in the ashtray, forget it's there, and light another one.
It's the worst.
And then they realize it, so they smoke both.
It's worse.
I've seen that happen.
My buddy Devin was like, man, I smoke so many cigarettes here at night. And I'm like, no, you sit down a lot of cigarettes.
And then they burn.
They just burn out. It's cigarette incense for the rest of us. It sucks.
I would say there's not too many smokers in the MMA community.
No. Did you ever smoke? Like, consider yourself a smoker.
No. Yeah. I mean, there was a point, I think, where I smoked cigarettes before, but never done it.
Yeah.
When I was really drunk, I used to do it. I would like get a cigarette. I'd have to be really drunk to do it.
That was kind of my thing. I needed to have a good buzz going or something.
I didn't ever smoke a ton. I mean, I was a smoker. Like, I always had
a pack a day more?
No, I was like a pack every 4 to 5 days.
That's not that bad. I mean, yeah.
So, mine was stress. Was when I would do it. So it'd be like after work or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bought a pack of cigarettes when we bought the old house. So that was 2013. And because we had a little porch. And because I had smoked occasionally. And I was like, oh, it's a cool porch. You remember the little porch back there, right?
I never went to your old house. Not one time.
Not for a birthday party or something? Anyway. So I was like, well, let me get a pack of cigarettes because I'll drink and want to smoke back there. I threw away the pack of cigarettes when we moved into this house.
Oh, wow.
So you
had them for years.
4 years, they were just sitting there.
Nice.
Wow.
So, yeah, smoked like a cigarette a year.
What kind of cigarettes were they?
You remember, what were the yellow ones? You know the yellow ones with the Indian head on them?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Those are the natural ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what
you
those
got
are.
I actually hipster ones.
Hipster, yeah, they were definitely hipster.
I smoked Parliaments, which I found out later the reason they had the little recessed filters for cocaine. Did not know that that's what it was
that's
for.
Funny.
Wow. Smoking it.
That's funny. Dude, I think it was on Rogan's podcast when they were reading like old cigarette ads.
Probably Parliament was for that.
Parliament and Camel. It said the Camel ad said something like, 4 out of 5 doctors
recommend
Camel.
They used to promote
if
low
you're
birth
pregnant,
weight.
this is perfect for you.
No, they used to promote it with low birth weight.
Yeah, cigarettes help you lower your birth weight, so giving birth is a breeze.
They used to give opium to kids.
Giving birth is as easy as puffing on this Camel.
Yeah. Well, remember...
Wow.
I forget the name of it, but they used to use, and this wasn't that long ago, it was probably in the 50s or 60s, they would give kids opium.
That's crazy.
That was normal.
That's crazy. Well, I mean, we all know the story, like cocaine was in actual Coca-Cola.
Coke. Yeah.
I don't know how much. Like,
that'll make you come back for more.
Yeah. People
for business.
And they're wondering why people were pissed when they changed the formula. They're like, yeah, you took our fucking Coke away.
I wonder if they still produce it like that in other countries where it's not a big deal.
I don't know. I think everybody's got their own recipe. Like McDonald's has their own recipe still.
I was wondering, that tastes differently. It's sweeter.
It's my understanding.
I mean, it's been a while, but yeah.
Yeah,
it's sweeter.
You don't
definitely
think that's
sweeter.
Folklore?
No, I've read it. I remember reading something about
they had their own recipe.
They have their own recipe per their contract.
Just
with
means
Coca-Cola.
more sugar.
Yeah, and it's something about with the carbonation too. Like, you know how there seems to be more bubbly?
Oh,
gets your nose
yeah,
really good.
Interesting.
So I think
You're
they
right.
do more carbonation, and I think they have like a syrupier.
Have you seen their new deal?
What?
So all the fast food companies now in their apps are having like these deals. That's their new thing.
Yeah, have you seen that? by
Oh
the
yeah,
way?
I have seen that.
There's two insane ones. So
Burger King
one-
did one. So Burger King that had one something like that.
If you ordered from
Burger
McDonald's,
King.
I remember that.
Yeah, if you order from a McDonald's parking lot, you could get a Whopper for $1, and I actually did that. But
because we have them in town, they're so close.
yeah, they're right next to each other. Typically, they are right next.
They're
to
close,
each other.
yeah.
But the crazy one is right now it's 29-cent hamburgers on Mondays and 50 or 39
For where
cents.
at McDonald's or?
McDonald's.
Oh wow.
Regular hamburger. And then so today
cheap.
it was Monday and I'm like, I'm gonna get 2 hamburgers. So I got
There's nothing in those hamburgers.
no, there's not.
So it's a
they're
bun and
275 calories.
It's a burger and a bun. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
But
little
you
onions.
remember like the original ones, like
Yeah,
your kid
yep.
that would came
like
in the Happy
our
Meal?
Happy Meal before we had the choice of chicken nuggets when we were kids. Because
Yeah.
they didn't have those when we were kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
But-
nuts.
But the little onions that
Handbreaker.
don't taste like onions.
Yeah,
But
with mixed with the ketchup, and it's like
a little bit
weird
of mustard.
sweet onion sauce.
Yeah. But they have those. I think
It
they're
is pretty
39
delicious,
cents.
though.
And cheeseburgers are 59 cents now on Wednesdays. So you can imagine like people are ordering a lot.
I would do the cheeseburgers, but I need like 5 of those things.
But here's the crazy one is Burger King now has a thing where you pay $5 and you get unlimited coffees. So you go in, you pay $5, you have the app, and it's like a monthly subscription to Burger King coffee.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that just hot coffee or does that include
Just
the
hot
ice?
coffee, regular coffee.
I was gonna say if it is the ice, I'd be
Yeah,
down for
like, well, let me get a coffee and a large ice.
that. Yeah, that's true. There you go. That's the way to beat it.
Let me
right
get a
there.
large ice with that.
But in that, but think about it, like, and I think Burger King has tacos now too.
Well, they brought them back, so I just learned about that. Are you familiar with that?
No,
Kenny?
I'm not.
All right, so
It's crazy to me though.
you guys know Jack in the Box?
Mm-hmm.
Or heard of Jack in the Box?
Yeah.
It's like Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never been
Yeah.
to one. Have you ever been to a Jack in the Box?
Uh-huh.
Apparently, they have tacos on their
Well,
menu.
they're not
Okay.
in Florida.
They're not in Florida, no. But apparently, they have tacos, and they are these cheap tacos with, I guess, so they're like fried tacos. So they take the taco, they fry it, and then they crack it open and put the filling in, like the
Interesting.
the cold stuff.
Beef or chicken?
So I think this one's beef. So the Taco Bell version, or I'm sorry, the Burger King version is beef. So they did that a long time ago. They ripped off the Jack in the Box tacos, and Jack in the Box got
Hardee's has
pissed.
been doing it a long time too.
Okay. So, but now I guess somehow they brought them back. So it's $1 for basically
That's
like
crazy.
a fried taco.
Yeah.
And my mouth has been watering.
Think
for
of
one
him.
those.
He's been eating nothing but chicken and
I know.
broccoli.
Chicken and
gotta be
broccoli, yeah.
good.
It's
Every
like,
day.
whew.
After
So
your fight-
seriously, like, because I know we'll get back on the actual subject we're supposed to talk.
Yeah.
Me and Frank will talk about fast food for 6
I'm
hours,
whatever.
and then we'll go order it and eat it all.
dream about ordering.
Yeah. So when you're dieting for this and you're cutting weight, are you eating less frequently, like meaning a little portion very frequently, or are you eating a lot but not a lot of times a day?
Okay, so for me, when I started, I originally was 272 pounds in February.
Is it
So
February of what?
This year?
this year,
200 and how much?
72.
272 pounds. Kenny, how much you weigh?
I have no
right now?
commitment to myself.
I'm 208,
He weighs
207,
208 right now. And you're fighting at
That's 10 pounds a month.
205.
okay.
It's 10 pounds a month.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So for me, when I started losing weight real quick, I just cleaned up my diet a lot. I just quit eating fast food, and I was eating a lot more home cooked stuff. You know, I would go cook a hamburger instead of going out and buying it, and I would cook a steak. And I think that preparing your own food, you know what you're putting into it. You know, I don't know if that
No, that makes
kind of
sense.
makes
It
sense.
makes sense.
When you prepare your own food,
It's not
just
full of butter and salt.
yeah, it's not full of stuff, and you kind of know. And that alone, I dropped like 30 pounds pretty quick with running. I was running lifting weights. I was doing high reps when I was at the weight and doing at the Y lifting. So I dropped 30 pounds. Probably actually like I dropped 20 pounds in like 2 weeks. It was really quick, but I was working out every day.
If you change your diet
Yeah.
and do that, it's
Yeah.
quick. It's
I
quick.
dropped 20. I went from like 272 to 255 in probably about 14 days.
Yeah, I
and
felt
then,
like
yeah.
the most weight I lost was in my first month, and then it kind of tapered off.
Then I got to 235 by doing that. Then I started getting down to my 220s, and it started getting really hard, and that was no longer working. I had to meal prep. That's the only way. to lose that final bit of weight. So then I started meal prepping the broccoli and the chicken. Any green, but I hate peas. Peas are the worst.
You like green beans?
I thought peas have a lot of sugar in them.
Green beans, they're all right. It was broccoli. That's the only thing.
Broccoli's my favorite. Yeah, I like broccoli a lot because
I tried it all.
It sponges up whatever flavor of whatever you're cooking.
Yeah.
So if you have something, you put like on the broccoli underneath it, it'll get some of that flavor.
I really like broccolini.
What's broccolini?
It's like a mixture of broccoli and asparagus, but it's a long broccoli. It's good.
I don't get the whole cut broccoli. I get the ends.
Just the
florets.
Yeah, the florets. Thank you.
Florets. Yep.
That's all. I can't eat the whole. It's
the stem.
Terrible.
Yeah.
But how many times a day do you eat? Because from what I see, when bodybuilders do that crap, it's like 18 freaking times a day.
So what I would eat, I would wake up in the morning and I would eat a bowl of oatmeal and an avocado, and then
that sounds terrible in the morning.
You get used to it. Yeah. Then 3 hours later, I would do like a protein shake or a protein bar. Then at noon, I would eat, my lunchtime, I would eat broccoli, about 6 ounces of chicken, the chicken breast, the white meat. Then I would eat as much as broccoli as you can have. You want to get filled up on broccoli, not the meat.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Then about 2 or 3 hours later, you do another protein shake or a protein bar. Then for dinner, it's the 6 ounces of chicken and broccoli again.
So are you...
That was my day of eating.
Were you just basically controlling the calories?
Yeah, exactly.
Are you paying attention to any of the what do they call it, the macros?
No, I was just calorie counting. You know, I was in a deficit every day, a calorie deficit. And then at the end of the day, I was like 1,500 to about 1,700 calories a day.
Okay.
By doing that.
Yeah, so I know a lot of people, like, you know, all the fad diets, like keto diet. Yeah. I mean, I tried it. Mm-hmm. And it helped for the most part. And I still will cycle, but what it did was it just made me more aware of what I was putting in and everything to it. But you could be on any diet in the world you want, but if you're not negative calories,
you're not deficient. You're not gonna do anything.
You're not gonna do anything.
The one weird thing, because I did keto and went from 287 to 250 something within a couple months. Mm-hmm. But anyways, the keto thing that I noticed is once I hit actual ketosis, it was strange. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you did this the way
fasting,
you did it, but I was enlightened for like a week. My brain was on full alert. Like I wasn't tired, and because I do math pretty much for a living, like it was all coming easier to me. But that high went away, which sucked. But did you get that? Like, yeah. I was seriously like smarter for a week.
There's a lot of science behind it, and I mean, I just kind of refer to it as like almost like a hunger fog.
Wasn't it ketones or brain food?
Yeah, ketones is the byproduct of your body burning fat. So it's like the exhaust coming out of the car, right? So you burn fuel and the exhaust comes out. So the ketones are kind of like the byproduct of that, and apparently your brain uses them for energy.
So your brain's a turbocharger.
Kind of. Basically. So, but the idea behind that too is like, I mean, you have to do what's right for you. But I just kind of referred to that as like I was no longer hunger foggy, right? So if you're always so even like you, right? Like if you're eating every couple hours,
yeah.
Bro, that a minute past that couple hours.
Oh yeah, you're hungry.
You're fucking.
You're hangry.
You're
like, I want to eat,
and you'll tear up anything.
Yeah,
right. So if you're not meal prepping, what you're going to grab anything?
Oh yeah, 100%.
So when we were in ketosis and you're fasting, and then all of a sudden you're not like hungry like you used to be, you're thinking about other stuff. You're thinking about the stuff that you're thinking about. You know, once the sleepy wears off from just eating, and before the hungry again.
You know what I was thinking about? How broke I was going from being on keto. My God. I don't want to do it again. Like, I know I could get on keto and lose another 20 pounds in no time, but I don't want to lose that. I was going through a ton of money.
Oh, so I was eating a lot less. I'm eating more now. Like, spending more money now.
You know how cheap it is to eat 39-cent hamburgers?
Yeah, but that's different. No diet should have that stuff in there. No, but I mean, think about it. So what Kenny's talking about, man, like, dude, he's burning through chicken. And broccoli's not cheap.
Yeah, and if he goes organic, it's going to be worse.
Yeah, all organic.
For sure. So for me, like, yeah, maybe I'll have, like, one night would have been a steak, or another night would have been, like, what do we do all the time that we did, like, so we do, like, spaghetti, but we would use the
squash
zoodles,
the zoodles and stuff like that. So it'd have like
I still eat that, by the way. I like that just as much.
Yeah, I mean, I think.
Have you ever had that?
What?
You could probably have that
Zoodles?
and still be.
Oh yeah, I probably could. Yeah, I just
put the zoodles underneath your chicken.
I'm just not a big. I don't like to cook.
Yeah.
I like to throw chicken in the crock pot and be
I
done.
agree with you.
I'm just not a big cooker.
That was probably the biggest reason why I transitioned. So I will go. I still fast, and I will. I still prefer fats over carbs, and I was kind of like reload. So the other day I had a nice pasta dinner, which was amazing. It was pasta and some grilled chicken. But I mean that's like once a month, you know. And for the rest of the time, I try to keep the carbs really low, especially earlier in the day. Because if you F up earlier in the day, then all of a sudden your day's kind of
it could
toast,
be for sure.
You know,
you could ruin your whole day like that.
Has anybody used a pressure cooker?
My stepmother loves it. You use a pressure cooker?
No, but I know people who have them and they love them.
What does it do?
Apparently, it cooks things way fast.
Yeah, you just put in a big roast and whatever you want, really, potatoes and carrots in a roast, and you just you clamp it down and it just. I don't know exactly. I don't know. I don't know how it cooks it. But
think of it like I was told it's kind of like the cross between an air fryer and a
see, I have an air fryer
and a crock pot.
Well, see, I'm in no hurry, so I'm wondering if it's worth it for me to buy one.
Well,
I've been looking at them.
I have an air fryer, and I really like that.
I like the air fryer.
The air fryer, I make so much stuff in the air fryer. Dude, Janet makes like an entire meal in the air fryer.
Corn in the air fryer is awesome.
We do. What did I do? Oh, bro, I take pickles spears, and I'll wrap them in bacon and air fry them.
That's really good.
It's delicious.
I love pickles
and
bacon.
On the keto diet,
you can have it.
That was okay because the pickle was like, a fourth of so yeah, it's like 1/5 of a calorie. You know what I mean? Because I think it's like 5 calories for a large pickle. You know, so it's crazy.
Yeah.
Do that, and the bacon was okay. But I mean, still, here's the deal. Anybody who thinks that you can eat 20 slices of bacon, like, no diet allows that, right? The keto diet was like, no, the bacon's okay, but like 2 or 3 slices
is fine.
It's fine.
You know, not a half a pound of it.
You can't eat a half a pound of it, man. And that's a mistake that a lot of people make. But anyway, Kevin by the end of Kevin's keto diet, it was whatever the hell he wanted.
It's just like,
it worked, didn't it?
Maybe.
Now, how was your fasting? How long did you fast for on that?
That's a big part of it. Well, see, I'm always naturally fasted because my lifestyle, like today, for instance, I don't intentionally fast, but I'll wake up.
Happen.
I don't eat breakfast. I never really have during the week. So I'll leave my house at 7, but my work schedule won't allow me to eat till like 4 and 5.
Yeah.
In the afternoon. So I don't have a choice. Like it's just happens.
It happened.
Yeah. So I naturally can make it to 2 o'clock every day, and I'm not hungry naturally. But 2 o'clock I get hungry. But I think it's a family trait too, because all the men in my family are the same way. We don't eat, but like the problem is once I break it, I'm wide open.
You're gonna eat whatever.
I'm wide open.
That's kind of my problem too. I tend to go because I'll do 16 off and 8 hours on, and then the first thing I'll do is just destroy some food. I'll eat like 1,000 calories.
Yeah, right there.
Right there. And the problem is not the problem because I'm still losing weight a little bit. Summertime is just really tough because I drink so much water that at times, like, dude, I lost 5 pounds yesterday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And your body will retain so much of that too, you know.
Well, I'm right back to where I was.
If you're eating any sodium, it's just going to even retain even more.
Yeah. So all of that water, you know. But anyway, so what I was doing was once a week I would do a 24-hour fast, and the rest of the week it was 16 to 18 hours. And I would always do it so that I ran right before I broke my fast.
Yeah, makes sense.
So,
you always want to work out in your fasting zone, was what I was told.
Yeah, and then my little trick was then it allows me to have some carbs because I just worked out. So then I would have, bro, nothing has been better after these summer runs than coming home and eating some watermelon. So, dude, I'll chop up like a block of cheese and some sort of meat. So I'll take like smoked sausage. We've had some kind of like bulk meal prepping.
Yeah.
You know, so I'll take smoked sausage, chop that up with some cheese. But while everything's getting ready, I'm down in like half a watermelon. It seems like it's just so
I love watermelon.
so good. But I think it's too much sugar though. But Anyway.
I'm going to go back to fighting. Because I have another really stupid question, but I feel like people that don't watch fighting, like me, probably have this thing. So, I've been in fights, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Typically, I want to kill that person because I'm mad at them. Like, it's not a sport. I'm trying to kill you, like, at that point. I would have a really rough time getting into a ring with somebody I'm not mad at and going at them with 100% velocity, so to speak. No problem if I'm mad at you.
Yeah.
But, like, if you were like, Kevin, you want to fight in the garage? Like, you're going to, at best, get 30% at me.
Yeah.
So, my thing is how do you click mentally into that? And
Good question.
And how do you not feel bad? Like, because I would feel bad, honestly.
Yeah, and I got the perfect response to that. It's basically they're trying to break your neck, so you're going to try to break their neck. That guy he's trying to knock you out. He's trying to hurt you, So that's the mindset. You're trying to hurt him. He's trying to hurt you. You both trained for this moment.
Right.
That's how it's got to be. But getting back what he was saying, that happens in practice, in sparring, because, we're not going, you don't want to kill the guy you train with every day. You're not trying to, hurt that guy, So it's different. Like, I haven't went to that level yet.
Right.
I sparred, but we're not, again, trying to kill each other. So this, you step in the cage and you're 100% balls to the wall trying to hurt this guy or knock him out. And he's trying to get at you. So I have not been to this level yet.
But I also feel like that not hating each other aspect is what makes watching those fights better than just watching you fight your cousin because you're pissed off at each other. Because these are actual people that are. So most of them came from an experience or a background where they were we talked a lot about martial arts fighting, where it's fighting for points, right? Kenny's fighting for points in a way, right?
Yep.
There's judges who are judging his round, right? So he doesn't want to go bonkers out there, get clocked, and it doesn't matter how much he hurt the other guy. If the other guy takes him the distance and gets more points against him, he's gonna win the fight.
You never want to leave it to the judges. You don't want to do that if you don't have to.
Yeah,
well, and that's what
or
I
make
was
it obvious.
Say is I feel like certain fighters, all right, they're fighting from a place of anger. Tyson was an anger fighter, 100%. Like, he wanted to kill people, whereas not Holyfield. Foreman was calculated and was not angry. Like, the whole time you could tell he was and you kind of got to see Ali wasn't angry. But there's some fighters where it's they're taking out their whole life on that person. And you always wonder if they're that emotional. Typically, emotional people that are angry like that are also very the other way emotional. And I always wondered, when he got home, was he depressed because of that situation?
Perfect example. His life was all messed up.
Yeah, he had a very, very bad
and he fought angry.
Yeah.
But Foreman had a great life.
Typically, I think the angry people aren't as successful as, you were saying, Ali, right? The very calculated, surgical type of people. I don't know. But
I think that Ali he got in people's head. He got in people's head
really
so
did.
good. He was the showman.
He was the first
to
one.
do that, and he would get in your head and he would just drive his opponent just crazy. So by the time they get in the ring, they were just all messed up, They were just like...
You ever hear about the Foreman fight when he first fought Ali?
Was he I've never fought anybody who's talked so much.
No. Well, yeah, before the fight. But Foreman was, Ali was still in his late prime. He wasn't prime time Ali. And Foreman was the up-and-comer. Foreman was bigger, longer reach.
Foreman's a beast.
More athletic.
He is.
Foreman was supposed to whoop Ali. No problem. And Foreman in his head, in fact, you should look into it because Foreman talks about how he used to fight angry. And remember, he retired and he came back. And then when he came back, he was better. He said he wasn't fighting angry anymore. But anyway, so he said he was fighting Ali. And if you watch that fight, Foreman beating the hell out of Ali in the beginning. And Ali just taking it and rope-a-doping him. And he said he got to the point where his arms were so heavy it was like holding anvils. And he said right at that moment, Ali looked up at him and goes, "Is that all you got, George?" And then beat the hell out of him. Ali was just wearing him out.
Yeah.
So, Ali, I wonder, though, with all this stuff with, and this is the next thing I was going to get into, with all this concussion stuff with football players, obviously you're going to have that in this sport. Is that something you worry about? And then also, I do believe it had something to do with Ali's, because he's got Parkinson's, right?
Yeah. He
did.
He did.
But the point is
rest in peace.
Yeah, sorry. But the point is if you were to look at boxers, I'm sure they have the same outcome as football players, and I imagine MMA fighters bang heads a lot too. So is that not something you worry about?
No, I think it's on my mind, but in MMA, it's not like boxing where you're just going to stand there and just bang. In MMA you can go to the ground. Sure, you're going to take hits, but I don't think you're going to get hit. You're not getting hit as much in MMA as you are to boxing. Because on boxing, the way they get the 10-9s, you see that a lot.
Yeah.
In the round, it's 10-9, 9-10. Every 3 punches is 1 point.
Gotcha.
So every time they throw 3 punches, it's 1. 6 punches, 2. That's how they get the 10-9s. So you're standing there getting banged in the head all day.
So on a 10, you just get hit in the head 30
Think about
times.
Yeah, exactly. Or got hit 30 times.
Right.
MMA though, it's a lot not as much as striking. I'm not saying that some MMA fights can have the striker just stand up and do that, because they do. But I think that it's a lot less striking.
Yeah, there's definitely some fighters that are punchy.
Look
right?
at the John Jones fight.
Yeah.
They barely hit each other.
They
were both staying distance.
Yep.
I mean, that was like 5 rounds of just walking around,
Yep. What is it? Their fingertip rejoy.
Yeah, exactly.
Just kept touching fingers. But the other thing too, though, is like if you look at the ones who did brawl, they are a little maybe messed up, right? That's what I was saying. Like, look at Liddell. Dude, Liddell, in order to get the punches he got, he took a few.
Yeah.
He did. In the middle of an interview, he just fell down. Remember that?
Yeah.
Just passed out. That would worry me.
He also partied his ass off.
Something about the old school guys is they were training. Their practice, getting back to that sparring, is they were going all out hardcore and sparring. Okay.
Well, they were going call all somebody out up and like whoop the hell out of them.
That was like the same thing as a fight. So they were at the same speed as a fight, and I think that's the worst part in our sport is the sparring, because they were going so hard. Now that's all scaled back. They don't let them go. They don't let
Bo
them.
was telling us about that because he was he sparring? Somebody huge, and he said he got a couple licks in on him, and the guy just lit him up. Remember, he said he got mad and started going full tilt.
Gosh, who did he fight?
It was a big name.
Yeah, why am I?
They were just sparring together?
Yeah. It was, as Alistair Overeem.
Oh, yeah. That's that's a big old boy right there.
He said he was sparring with Alistair Overeem, and I hope we got to get the story right. And he said they kept drilling, and he kept getting him on a drill, right? Mm-hmm. And then by the time Alistair figured it out, like 5 times after doing that drill and got out of that drill, he was so pissed off. He took it out on Mo. Like, he got out, flipped him, and then Mo said all he could see was this fucking sledgehammer coming down.
Sure, just a hammer fist. Yeah.
He said it was only like one time, but he was like, Jesus.
And he was fighting. He's finally a long time, Alistair Overeem.
Yeah,
he's been around a while.
Yep.
But that's the old school mentality, is going out and trying to just kill each other at practice.
Now they're like getting pissed at the people that are like the up and comers that are coming into the gyms and forcing some of these pros to go hard, because they'll be sparring and they'll call it off. They're like, "No, what are you doing, man?"
That's that whole warrior mentality, like that movie.
Yeah,
I think that's everybody watches that movie, even me, and I know I wouldn't last. Well, I could last longer than 3.5 seconds, I think, because I'd have ran. But the point here is everybody watches that movie and they're like, I can go in the ring and spar with a professional. No, you can't. But that's the mentality now, because they get juiced up on these movies.
Here's if you walked in there with the professional. I went to American Top Team Coconut Creek last week. It's probably one of the top 3 MMA gyms in this country. I mean, I showed you the belt case.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's amazing.
It's the Dustin trains there. What's his last name? How do you say
Poirier?
It? Yeah, Poirier. He trains there. Amanda Nunes trains there. Thiago Santos trains there.
Both of those people fought on main cards in the last fight.
That Mizdeval guy, he trains there. Yep. I mean, they're talking like best of the best. And we brought our gear to try to train with them, but if we would have went in there, we wouldn't have done them any good, and they wouldn't have done us any good.
Right.
They would have just screwed with us, and they wouldn't have got any training because we're not even
waste of time
on their level. But we brought our gear in. All right, listen, we're not gonna let y'all go train with them. That's the reason why. I mean, it's just even between an up and comer and a pro, it's so vast, like how good they are.
It's amazing.
I mean, that's all they do. 8 to 10 hours a day is train, and train.
Right, they are now getting paid to do that.
That's all they do.
That's their thing.
Where I think the misconception is is most guys have been in a fight at one point in their life. And if, for the most part, you think, in your brain, you think you're pretty tough, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then you see somebody fighting on TV, and it's evenly matched on TV because it's a pro fighting a pro.
For sure.
It isn't the distance because no one goes out there and throws a 70-yard pass like you see a pro quarterback do. So you're not going to throw it 70 yards. But you've been in a fight, and you've fought pretty good against people you fought. And because the people you're watching, you think you can do that because it looks obtainable, but it's not.
No.
I would love for somebody to be picked out of the audience that's drunk, that thinks they're bad, and just get to go and fight for like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And just watch them get flopped.
It would, yeah. I like when you see the things like what's his name beats up 3 guys outside of a bar. We were messing with a chick. I can't remember that fighter's name. But they didn't even know he was a pro fighter, and they're messing with the chick.
Messed him up.
And he's like, he backed down, and the dudes wouldn't back down, and he just dropped them. Like, I imagine being the bouncer there, and then after the fight over, being like, you can go in if you want, bro. Like, I'm not going to.
No, you can go on, dude. I'm
not
not going to mess with you.
Yeah, I'm not stepping in your way. But when, so it's different. So this whole, all this is new to you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
What do you think was, like, the hardest, I don't know, or maybe the most difficult adjustment to make? Diet's one thing.
Yeah.
Right?
For sure.
But your training, you know what I mean?
Yeah. The whole training process, to come in there and not know anything to where I got to now, and I'm just a beginner, was the whole striking and stand up. It's like the jiu-jitsu's hard. Everything's hard to learn, but the whole striking, punching and kicking and the combinations and how to set your body up after position after you throw a punch. It's just, you really got to beat this stuff in your head. It takes someone beating it in your head to get it. It's the hardest thing to learn.
So this
how to set your feet, how to move around, how to throw a right, then set your roundhouse kick up. There's a lot of stuff you got to learn. It's like, from a beginner, it took me a whole year and a half to get to this point.
So, like, John Jones goes into a training camp. He essentially knows all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
So he's tweaking and drilling and training for his opponent.
Exactly.
You're learning.
Exactly.
So
I'm learning.
So it's different.
Yeah, he's already learned all that. A top guy like that is just, their training camp is just staying focused and conditioned.
Yeah.
And for a guy like him, they really keep him under lock and key, is what I heard.
Yeah.
They don't let him go out much. It's just like out in New Mexico is where they train in Albuquerque.
Do you know who's he fighting with? Is it not was it Jackson?
It's Jackson Wink. Yep. That's the gym he's at.
Yeah. And your whole, your timeline for this was kind of weird too, right? Because you were supposed to fight in a different weight class.
Yeah, I was 185. I was gunning for that.
Kevin's not familiar with that story, so explain that.
So I had an opponent when I took the fight in April. I had a guy, and we were going to fight at 185, and he was coming down a lot of weight too. From what I heard, he was like 400 pounds last year.
What?
Maybe, yeah, like a year and a half ago. He was. I don't know his whole story, but I just know that at one point he was really, really heavy, and he lost a lot of weight. And we were going to fight, and then about 4 weeks ago, I think 3 or 4 weeks ago, he quit training. So his coaches called the promoter and said, "Hey, our guy quit showing up to practice to quit training." So I went from like ready to fight to like not having a fight. And it was like mentally, it was just like, no, I've been training so hard. I'm going to do this, not having a fight.
Right.
But
you had that light at the end of the tunnel, something that you were working towards.
Yeah, exactly. You're exactly right. It was depressing. I was pissed. Yeah. And then I got an opponent. We found a guy, and he took the fight. So
what weight class now?
We're going to go 205. So that's what he wanted. I've seen a picture of him. I don't think he's a 205-pounder.
Well, that's a 20-pound difference for. So now that was part of the biggest reason why I was running with Kenny. Is I said,
I was trying to get the weight off.
We'll gradually get the weight off instead of having
getting
like
the rest of it off.
A nasty weight cut where he's got to cut
20 pounds or 15. Yeah, what you don't want to do.
Well, that's what Mo was talking to us about. Is he fought he hit the weight.
Yeah.
But he said he was weak.
Yeah.
Because he was not naturally supposed to be near that weight. He's hurt.
Everything. There are people that are getting paid a lot of money to cut people. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so they're literally like, they're doing it gradually. They're doing it with a science behind it. Because it's not a healthy thing to do.
No, it's not.
I don't know if you listened to that. So after he cut all that weight, he was expecting to eat at the thing.
Yeah.
And they had ham sandwiches. His name is Mohammed.
Yeah.
What do you think he can eat?
Yeah. So we asked asked them to get him something from Subway, and they brought him back like a veggie sandwich, and he was like, "Bro, I can't have pork. I can eat, there's chicken.
Yeah, there's turkey, whatever else. Yeah.
Like, there are other options.
Yeah.
Veggie sub is not going to cut it for me.
But you look at John Jones and you look at Thiago Santos, came back on that. Those guys are coming down from 240, 250, and I'll tell you what, they're probably 12% body fat at 240,
Right.
Which is like...
And John Jones is just...
Santos, he
athlete.
fought heavyweight. He was a heavyweight. So
Right.
he's coming out at 205. He walks around at probably 240, ripped, or almost ripped. So, I mean, it's doable, but like you said, you got to do it right. You got to do it smart. And you got to have, if you got the best of the best that are helping you do it,
Well,
it's going to be a lot easier.
It kind of, we're segueing a little bit.
Not a
here.
lot easier, but easier.
What's his name was very excited about moving up a weight class because he was tired of cutting weight, was kicking his butt, whatever it was. What was it? Dude got his jaw broke in the second round or the end of the first round or something. Do you remember that? On that same card.
I'm trying to think.
Was it Luke something? Rockhold.
Rockhold, yeah. He went up, yeah.
I'm going to be
He went from 85 to 205. Yeah,
Yep.
that's right.
I'm going to dominate 205. I'm going to be the number one in 205. Yeah. And that knockout looked nasty.
I'm telling you, there's some heavy hitters at heavyweight and at 205 and heavyweight.
His soul stepped out and waited for his body to hit the floor before it went back in.
That Polish dude was like 6'5" or something. Like
crushed him.
He was probably cutting down from 250, to fight 205. They're just heavy-handed.
Yep.
Man, they're just brutal.
Yeah, we had that conversation where, look, there are people, you almost want to be the guy that's cutting versus the guy that's climbing.
Exactly. For sure.
But to be in your prime and to be within like 5 pounds is perfect.
Yeah.
Either
exactly.
way. Right? So it's like, you're cutting to 185, but you're walking around at like 190.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's nothing.
Fine.
Yeah. As long as you can be strong, if you're cutting and you're still strong, then you're good.
So you got this new opponent who agreed, which is cool.
Yep.
So it was cool of you to go to 205 because you could have still said 185, right? And they.
Yeah, I could have, but at that point,
we're weeks away. We were like, what?
You want to make it easy,
weeks?
you just want at this point just get the fight going. You
Yeah.
know, you don't want to make it hard on anybody. So just let's take the fight 205. No question. That's fine.
Very cool, and it's cool that you're on weight, dude. That's awesome, man. I'm stoked. I'm gonna try my hardest to get out there.
For sure.
I would love to go see it. I don't even. Where the hell is Deland?
It just take 44, go down 95 to New Smyrna, and then go west. You'll run right into
opposite of the beach.
Yep.
All right, that's awesome, man. So what's the fight hasn't even happened yet, but what's next? Are you gonna try to branch from this point on, or you can try to branch to MMA versus just kickboxing?
Exactly. So next, see how this fight goes, but I definitely want to do MMA next year. My goal is just to train this next 6 months.
Sure.
Just to train and get better. And then next year will hopefully be a busy year. I don't want to, I'm not going to get hit in the face for free.
Sure.
But if I'm not going to sit here and take losses, if I go 0-3 in MMA, then this isn't for me.
Right.
But if I can win, I'm definitely going to try to turn pro at this and see how that goes. But just to train these next 6 months, train hard.
Sure.
I set the bar, now it's to raise it up.
And it's very cool, man. You've been super dedicated, which has been spectacular. What, you got something to say, Kevin? I know, because you haven't said
just
anything.
I talk too much. I don't talk. He makes a comment. There's never a good spot for me.
So when you're doing amateur, and this isn't speculating or anything like that, but what do they do about do they test amateurs and stuff like that?
Like for PEDs or steroids?
The same way they do, because look, John Jones was saying he's getting called up in like the middle of the night
they're in the UFC's in the Olympic doping one. They're in like the hardest one.
Okay.
That's the Olympic one, and it's like they're hardcore.
They're in the 2000s Major League Baseball one.
That's a different story.
They were. That was one where it's like, hey, you're getting drug tested next week. Be ready.
Yeah.
That was a random drug test.
Yeah.
It's coming next week.
That's funny.
Hey.
Hey, Mr. McGuire, Mr. Sosa.
Yeah.
You're getting drug tested in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Hey, do me a favor. I'm going to need both of you guys to get on all of the steroids. We're going to have a good home run year.
Hey, I want the best, money can buy.
I am fine with it. I forget which organization it is. I don't know if it's Bellator or whatever, where they're basically like, yeah, we don't care. But, like, if you show up and you're literally pissing white powder, like, there's going to be a problem.
I have an issue then.
Yeah.
There's blood work. You got to get blood work in amateur MMA. And
Okay.
You got to get a vision test.
And a lot of it's for your health. It's not for...
That's to see if you don't have HIV or hepatitis. So if you bleed on somebody, you're not going to give it to them.
I didn't think to ask that question.
Yeah, that's a big deal, man.
Yeah. So I don't know if they test anything else. For kickboxing, for mine, I didn't need any meds. I don't need any medicals. I don't need a vision test or blood work done.
Because it's kickboxing?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know the exact reason why, but that's my guess because it's stand up.
Sure, and I bet if you're down on the mats and whatnot.
Yeah. So for MMA, you got to get all your meds.
That's so funny though, because but that was the biggest deal they made about Magic Johnson. Remember when Magic?
Oh yeah, when he came out and had HIV,
no one wanted to defend him, and then
they didn't want to play with him or whatever.
And people were complaining about it or whatever. And I think the only one that said something, and again, Rogan had mentioned that in the podcast, but I looked it up, and it was Rodman. You remember what Rodman said? Rodman, they said something. No one wanted to guard him because of that, and Rodman was like, "I'll guard him. If I bleed on him, I'll accelerate his symptoms."
Well,
that's a crazy dude.
Rodman was the cheetah hair and all that sort of stuff.
You ever hear
he
that
was a weird one.
He's a weird dude.
He would show up to the games still blown out of his mind on coke, not slept in days, and then get like 13 to 74 rebounds.
Dude, there was a crazy story about they were in either the playoffs or the finals.
Oh, when he went to Vegas and then flew back?
He went to Vegas in the middle of the night. Who did he snuck out with somebody
Porn
famous.
Stars.
No, there was a famous dude, and that's how they were able to do it, because the famous dude, like, everything was under him. You get what I'm saying? Private flight, everything. So nobody knew Rodman.
He was there.
Didn't sleep the whole night.
Didn't sleep the whole night. He gets back in time for practice and check-ins or whatever the deal is.
Yeah.
Shows up without any sleep and plays game.
Just plays
and
game.
balls out. Like, balls out.
That's
but
wild
that was
to me.
when, that was the, 94, 90, what were that, 96, 7?
I don't know, but him and Daryl Strawberry were on a whole nother level.
Daryl Strawberry's another one.
Yep. And Babe Ruth and Mantle, too. I mean, Mantle was a drunk.
But that was different.
Babe Ruth drank beer all the time. Yeah, he's like, whatever.
Smoking cigarettes in the dugout.
Like, who cares?
To me, that was like good old boys who played baseball. You know what I mean? Babe Ruth was one of the first ones to make a profession out of it. There's other people that had that worked at hardware stores and they mixed paint and shit like that, and like they just played baseball because they enjoyed playing baseball. And he was like, "Yeah, I like baseball and I like hot dogs." That's what it was. He would eat hot dogs and drink beer.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have been anything by today's standards.
Oh, I doubt it.
He was overweight. He threw in the 80s, and
I don't know. I don't know. Was it in the 80s? How did they test? I don't know. How did they check that back then?
They can go by the video.
He would have had, but he would have had a different diet now. He would have had other things going on.
I'm saying the Babe Ruth we had. I think the only one
Babe
from
Ruth
back
we
then,
had, you can't do it. The Babe Ruth we had, obviously, if you just literally took his body and put him right here, he would have sucked. But the fact that he dominated the way he did, he is one of those, I think he's one of those transcending athletes where he would have dominated today.
Yeah.
With everything.
I think so too.
Today.
I'm kind of thinking that with him.
It has to be.
He would have adjusted, yeah. He would have been good.
I agree with
Did you watch this last home run derby?
But I agree with you, though.
The one guy hit, 39 home runs.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Babe wasn't holding up.
Again.
Vlad is literally hitting the cover off that ball.
Different time, man. Babe Ruth would have been on all the steroids, too, man. He'd have been fine. They would have done it.
I'm pretty sure they stopped all that.
My favorite home run derby was that Ken Griffey backwards hat.
His swing was so beautiful.
Beautiful. Ken Griffey's swing is probably the best swing in baseball.
Fun fact, Ken Griffey Jr. and Ken Griffey Sr. are the only father-son duo that hit back-to-back home runs.
They played on the same team, right? At one point, yeah.
They're on the Mariners together. His dad got up, hit a home run. He got up next, hit a home run.
I did not know that. I remember that now, but I forgot that they were on the Mariners together.
Yep. His dad was good. It's kind of like Steph Curry and Eddie Curry was his dad.
Yeah.
Eddie was good.
Yeah.
Steph is amazing.
I like it when the dad was really good, and you know the son can't be that good.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm trying to say? Like, gosh, what's an example? Because Archie was okay, right? And Peyton demolished it. But like Jordan's son, for example, like imagine being Jordan's son coming up playing basketball. It's like, dude, you're never gonna be your dad.
Up to that.
No matter how good you are, you're Doc Rivers' kid.
It'd be tough, for sure.
Yeah,
it's a tough situation to be in.
It's like you almost want to encourage them to try a different sport in the beginning, right?
Honestly, that's why there's a high suicide rate and drug rate, because they can't live up. I mean, honestly. Look at Dungy's kid. And there's another coach that his kid did the same thing. It's a big
it's the
shadow
dude for the Chiefs, Reed. Yeah. Well, his son was on drugs. He was
but that's what I'm saying is it's a hard shoe to fill. And imagine if your dad was this super successful, amazing person, and then you were us.
What's worse is when your dad was really, really good at it when there wasn't a lot of money involved. So he was really, really good, and you're not filthy rich.
You knew who outdid
so you had
their
to go
dad,
out
though?
and actually do something?
Prince Fielder is another one that outdid his dad, I think.
Prince Fielder? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about him. He retired, though, right?
I think so.
I think so.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of sons that have done good, but for the most part, you got to think, all those players out there that we talk about, they had sons that didn't make it.
Yeah.
And very few.
Well, what's your favorite sport outside of fighting?
Oh, it's football.
Football?
Yeah, NFL, college, yeah.
Who's your team?
The Gators and the Dolphins.
Another Dolphins fan.
Yep.
So we're
it's going to be a
throwaway
year, I guess. I don't
there.
know.
We're one hand short on offense, defense.
Well, at least the Heat got Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, he got Jimmy Butler.
Yeah,
that's cool. You
he did.
Heat fan?
No, I like the Magic.
Okay,
when I watch basketball,
Magic. I like Magic.
He likes the Miami Dolphins and the Magic. He hates his life.
It's tough.
The Magic made the playoffs last year.
He
apparently.
thinks about that while he's fighting. That's what makes him angry.
What about so who'd you say your favorite fighter is?
Oh, that's a tough one.
It is tough.
Man, that's a tough situation. Question.
Do you have a favorite fighter, Kevin?
Kenny and Mo.
Kenny and Mo?
There you go. Hey,
there you go.
I haven't fought yet, so we can say after I fight, then officially.
Favorite pro fighters, Mo. Favorite amateur fighters, Kenny.
Hey, there we go.
There you go.
I don't know who my favorite. That's such a
so like if you're watching
question.
styles, like if you're watching a fight and you're like, man, I'd like to be that. You know what I mean?
I would think for striking Ngannou. Man, that guy's
a beast. Francis Ngannou's a beast.
Can strike.
He is an absolute beast.
I honestly have nothing because I couldn't name any fighters.
Yeah.
We've had the converation before. I love BJ Penn.
He was a really good jiu-jitsu guy, man. I mean, he was just tearing people up.
Yep.
You know what? I'm going to take that back. My favorite fighter is GSP.
GSP?
Yeah, he's
super well-rounded.
Yeah, he's my favorite fighter. I would say he's at the top.
That stance.
Man, is that a disease or is that somebody's name?
Really?
George St. Pierre, man. He's like
St. Pierre, man.
No idea.
Good.
And it was so I appreciate him retiring like that.
Mm-hmm.
Him being like, because he's like, I'm thinking about some stuff, and then all of a sudden he's like, nah, I'm done. They were throwing money at him. They wanted him to fight.
Yeah.
Didn't they want him to fight Connor?
No, Khabib.
Khabib.
Yeah, Khabib would have did a catch weight or something at that because Khabib walks around at like 175. He's cutting to 155.
He's somebody that looks terrible.
Isn't
when
he
cuts.
ousted from MMA?
No, suspension's over.
He just got suspended.
Okay.
Yeah, he's back now. He's got the belt.
He's back, and he's got a fight scheduled.
Yeah, he's going to be fighting Poirier in September in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
And Connor quit, right?
He didn't quit.
He didn't quit. He just don't need to fight. He got $100 million. Like, what are you going to get punched in the head for $100 million?
He's so rich.
I mean, how dedicated, if you had $100 million in the bank, how dedicated would you be in your training?
I wouldn't be dedicated to do much of anything.
In this sport, in MMA, not in basketball, not in baseball, I mean, where you're getting hit. You know, you got $100 million, like, you want to really get hit in the face.
You know what's sad, and we've talked about this, is we're talking about the pinnacle of MMA fighting right now. We're talking about is $100 million. And then baseball players, That's not even a big contract anymore.
Well, Trout, we were just talking about baseball contracts last week.
$174 million.
Look at the basketball stuff. Is
Trout.
Look at the football English. It's like, whew, crazy.
Oh, my God.
They're handing out
Lionel
$500
Messi.
million.
Now, baseball, though, is one of those ones where it's like,
God, soccer's stupid.
but you don't, like, the star soccer players are making a disgusting amount,
It's
right?
stupid.
But,
It's stupid.
But the average baseball player, I'm like, that's pretty good, man.
Yeah.
You're still pulling in, like,
I like that soccer players
4
can
million a
have
year.
one name.
Yeah.
Like, that's all they got. Then
Yeah.
one like Nene or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Nene
I'm
and,
sorry. That is
why am I
the
drawing a blank on something?
stupidest sport to watch in the world. And I'll tell you why.
There's the Neymar, him.
Neymar.
That's what I was
Neymar.
thinking about. Okay. Tell me you wouldn't watch soccer if it was like this. Make the goal a little bigger, the field a little shorter, and a little thinner, so you increase the scoring. And then, for God's sakes, when the clock hits 0, it's over.
There's no extra time.
No extra
Or
time.
the
It's the
penalty time. Is
stupidest
that what it
thing.
is? The injury
Penalty
time?
time,
Injury
yeah.
time or
What
something?
other sport do
Stoppage.
the referees go,
stoppage.
ha, only I know when the game's over.
Yeah. That's to me, that is very fishy.
They
Yeah.
get touched in that, and they're falling on the ground. They're flopping around. It's worse than
Oh,
the NBA.
man.
They're
Sometimes
like,
they don't even get touched.
yeah, they just fall on the
Yeah.
ground.
Like-
and they're like, oh my God, I throw a card.
And he does a backflip.
Like Key and Peele did.
Well, it's
He's
kinda what I
dead on the field.
Well, it's kind of what I like about hockey is it's kind of that concept, right? It's soccer with a smaller field. Now the net's small.
Ain't nobody falling on purpose in that sport.
No, but like penalties and stuff like that, like they play through. You know what I mean? Like you're suffering through that penalty time. It's over when it's over.
They have the enforcer. He's my favorite hockey player. On every
Goon.
team, they have the enforcer. And
Love it.
They throw him in there and just like, go fight.
I
It's like
love it.
sitting around
Go
like-
beat the hell out of someone.
My favorite enforcer was the Tooth Fairy, though.
I don't remember any of them.
He had like 3
I
teeth
don't
in his
watch
mouth.
hockey.
No,
Is
that
that what
was-
they call him? The
bro.
Tooth Fairy?
It's The Rock when he made that movie, the Tooth
Oh.
Fairy.
Oh.
You ever see the movie The Goon?
Yeah, with Stifler.
Dude, it's so funny.
Yeah, there's 2 of them.
Yeah, he's like the goon with the heart of gold.
Yeah.
Such a great movie. But that sport, rugby, football, MMA, like I just want to throw a bunch of soccer players in the middle of them.
There are some sports though that I don't get. All right, polo, I don't get.
That
Cricket,
to me seems very scary.
polo
You're on a big ass horse.
with a big fucking
Moving.
mallet.
I got the sport that will top all them sports that I don't get, and it was in the Olympics. Speed walking.
Shut up.
Yeah, that's so
I
It
stupid.
was in
forgot.
Beijing. It's like, what is
But
going
I
on
feel
right
like
now?
we could be the next curling team.
Curling is awesome.
Dude, those guys are intense. The guy that does the little, and he's sliding
Yeah.
with it, his eyeballs are like,
Yeah,
he's
man.
into it.
There's a lot to
I want to
it.
be the scrubber, the one that scrubs.
Yeah,
the,
yeah. They're
I'll do
doing
that.
what? They're reducing friction. Is that what they're doing? They're melting
No.
the ice so that the stone glides
So-
over
Yes.
like a smooth surface.
I could
I
already
wanna be
see
that
you'd be
position.
the guy that threw it, and you'd be screaming at me, "Scrub faster, you idiot!"
yeah. Scrub.
Yeah. And that's what that game had to have been Here's how that game started. A bunch of dudes got drunk in a northern town. They came outside.
In
they
Canada.
They found a rock, and there was some brooms for sweeping up, and they're
Yeah.
like, "I've got an idea," and that's how it started. You know it did.
Dude, there's some crazy like the Olympics. I think are about to have an overhaul. They're introducing 3-on-3 basketball.
Yeah, they are. Yeah,
Yep, which is I
Allen
think,
Iverson's coming out of retirement.
well,
for
but
that.
they're like, look,
it's in Japan, I think, too, this year, or not this year, but it's the next one's in Japan, I believe.
I have to look it up.
Is it
but
Tokyo?
I think I might be wrong. I think the 3-on-3 basketball is a cool concept because like American teams are just destroying
like-
basketball.
Yeah,
And you can get like a legit 3 from almost any
make it a little
country.
more competitive.
I bet Lithuania has a good team.
Dude, the
Yeah.
Redeem team was awesome, but
Spain,
I'm still,
too.
to this
Spain.
day,
Yeah.
embarrassed that we lost an Olympics basketball
Yeah.
tournament. Those guys should be so
I
ashamed.
felt like there was something else that was coming up that I thought was cool. The cross-country skiing thing is interesting, where they ski laps and then
Shoot, that to me, I like. I think that's actually
It's
really cool.
But
Yeah.
that to me,
Who thought of that? What drunk skier thought of that?
well, but that's like old school Olympics.
Yeah.
Old school Olympics wasn't just the main
Yeah.
sports. You know what I mean? It's like crazy real life shit.
But that's the other thing is any of these sports, right? Any of these sports you see in the Olympics, started with a lot of beers. Like
Probably.
like the long jump. Nobody sober did that the first time. No.
No.
They weren't like, we're going to do 100 down a hill.
I forget about the long jump.
Fly like Eddie the Eagle.
That is something that gives me anxiety every time I watch.
Dude, those guys are crazy.
Yeah.
You watch the. I mean,
I've seen it. I mean,
dude,
not something I watched. But
I couldn't. How do you do your first one?
You crap yourself.
Your first long, Jesus, your first long jump has to be into like water or something like that, and you bail.
Did you ever watch Eddie the Eagle?
Yes.
About that?
Yeah.
Like how he went like 30 feet the first time or something. He was super stoked. I'd be super stoked too.
Yeah.
But that was fun.
They start like we got to start from all the way up there. Can you just put me right here? You know, give me like 10 feet up.
Yeah.
I'll go like 5 feet off the edge. Dude, the anxiety behind that would kill me.
Did the Jamaicans still have a bobsled team?
They did.
They did. Yeah. In the last one. Yeah.
I feel like they should really
Female team.
At like
They could have been.
I think it was a women's Jamaican bobsled team.
I feel like the fact that they didn't do it, but they should have. It would have been huge. And you talk about
Feel the rhythm.
All been rich. Is if they made their whole outfit, but right here they just had a little egg.
Yeah.
Like how everybody would bought that shirt.
Dude, they should have made fake eggs to just like
Maraca eggs, so they could shake them when they go around the corners. You know how they all scream and like ah.
Dude, that's still one of my favorite movies.
I
feel the rhythm.
Yeah. With John Candy was in it too. John Candy,
it's bobsled time.
Baldy.
I want to say the accuracy on that story was like not even close.
I don't think it was close at all. I don't think it was close at all.
But talk about some balls, man. That's another thing. Is those guys never ever
seen snow or anything.
Yeah, well, the fact that the Jamaicans now, they ain't going back to bobsledding. They're just going to win every running event from here on out.
Oh, yeah.
They really are.
Yeah. My God.
Those dudes are fast.
Woo. Freaking Usain Bolt.
Mm-hmm.
That guy never finished a race at full speed. You ever notice that?
Yeah.
Because every time he would showboat and stand up, it's like, dude, you beat the record and you let up.
Yeah.
Like, and he won, what was it, 3 Olympics in a row?
Something like that.
That's a 12-year span.
Yeah.
He was destroying people.
You know what's crazy, though, too, is that's a short distance. I get it. It's like the premier race. What is it? Is it the 400?
Yeah.
I think so. That's like the big one.
One lap?
Yeah.
Is it one full lap or
No,
less
it's a
than that?
straightaway.
It's just a straightaway.
Yeah.
That's like 100 meters.
I think that's what it is.
I think it's 100, 100, something like that.
It's just a straightaway.
Just a straightaway. Like, have you ever tried? Like, you can go pretty fast.
He beat the record by like almost a second.
Sure. No, I get it.
A long time.
But imagine doing a whole lap.
He did that too, though, I think.
He did relay.
Yeah.
I think he did relay.
He's just a freak. He's
like
tall.
4x400 or something like that.
Yeah, he's like 6'5" or 6'6".
And the crazy thing is,
long
it's like
ass legs.
The American had broken all the American records that raced him the last time, and Usain was out of his prime. Usain still beat him.
Who was it before? Was it Carl Lewis that had the record?
Michael Johnson.
But they're built.
Carl Lewis was before him.
They're built differently, though.
Yeah.
They were
he was probably
strong,
like 6'1".
stockier,
Yeah.
All the best runners. We were talking about that too. Like all the best runners
become NFL receivers.
No, tall, lean.
No, they really do. All the high school track stars and those guys, they become receivers because that's where the money is. How much money are you going to make being a track star?
Yeah, not much.
None, unless your name's Usain Bolt.
Yeah.
Dude, you can be an underpaid receiver and still make more money.
Yeah, that's true. I think we're about done here. You good to go? Kenny, how can everybody follow you everywhere, and again, how they can see the fight?
I'm on Instagram, Kenny M MMA, and my Facebook is just my name, Kenny Mitchell.
So, guys, follow Kenny, support Kenny, especially if you're local. Kind of be a dick move to not to. And remember, it's the 20th?
20th of July. Saturday.
20th of July, Deland High School. Tickets right now are $25. At the door, they're going to be $35, and it's 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. Mm-hmm. Do you happen to know where you are on the card?
No, that's coming out, though. I just seen that today. In the next day or two, I'll know.
All right.
Where it's going to be, where I'm at.
So we'll post it. By the time this podcast comes out, we will have, we'll repost your stuff, and we'll get you out there, buddy.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
No problem, Kevin. Kevin, you got anything?
No.
Fucking retard. All right, everybody. Have a good one.